Welcome everyone, good evening, and welcome to class tonight. Good to have you all here. Please let's reach out to friends and colleagues to join the live stream tonight, starting right away in the next 3 minutes. Welcome everyone, welcome, good evening. If you are here, please confirm my audio and the screen. Confirm you can hear me clearly and confirm that you can see my screen clearly as well. Okay, so we are good to go tonight. Investing in the US stock market for beginners. So I'm going to be starting this session tonight, and I'm going to be clarifying the objective of this session tonight. Good evening, Mr. Titus. Good to have you here. Good evening, others. Good to have you here. So I know it's been a great time having us around in the last 3 weeks, and this is the last weekend of the School of Asset Management. I know you've learned one thing or the other, but I want you to pay attention again tonight because we are going to wrap it all up by tomorrow. So this is the last set of sessions we are going to have before the end of School of Asset class, and I want you to pay the attention. I want you to pay attention to this class tonight because we are not going to only, you know, learn about the stock market. We are going to also tie everything together. What do I mean by that? How do you play in all the markets and still get the best out of everything? So I'm going to wrap it all together because the idea is to be able to master, all of these things. While you have a particular one that you are so passionate about and you want to focus on, but it is important that you understand the breadth and length of the financial market. Like I love to say, and I've said several times during our sessions, I've said that for knowledge to be effective, it has to be what? It has to be wide and deep. So it has to be wide in the sense that you must understand the industry, and it has to be deep in the sense that you must understand the particular one you are focusing on, and you must understand it deeply. So tonight I am going to be talking about investing in the stock market. I know some of us that are a bit older here, if not most of us know about. So most of us understand the stock market, and when you hear people talk about the stock market, you probably remember a bad experience you had with buying stocks of, let's say, Naira, wire and cable, yes, Wema Bank, Standard Chartered Bank. I know for the old folks here, you probably remember some of those brands. Some of us, some people still, they are still holding some old stock, and then cannot even turn some cannot even currently turn their share certificate into the digital format as regards the Nigerian stock market. But then, let me quickly announce to you what we are just discussing. As you can see from the topic, has nothing to do with Nigerian stock market. Honestly speaking, that is not to say that there are no opportunity in the Nigerian stock market, but I'm saying that where we are focusing today, there are far more richer and better opportunity in the market we are discussing today. So there are far more reaching opportunity in the stock market in the US, in Canada, and in other places, because they are far more of a developed organization and far more developed country than ours in the country. So let's get started, and then let's get started. So what is stock investing? Let's start with that. What is the stock market? How do you play there? So investing in stock means buying shares of ownership in a public organization, in a public company. So those shares are called stocks. So if a stock you own become more valuable, you can earn a profit. If you decide to sell it to another investor or sell it back to the company, because that also happens. Some companies also pay monthly, quarterly, yearly return to their shareholder, which is called dividend. So let me break this down a little bit. If I sell food, let's say I sell food in a small shop, but God helped me to the point that I now have enough customer, um, tens of customers visiting me every day, and then to the point that people start traveling, from far distance to come and taste my food because of the message of God, and then the way we manage the business. Now, and then I need to grow and do some and probably establish another branch in somewhere else so that we can serve more customer, we can stop them from traveling all over the place and all of that. I need money. So if you give me that money, you can only give me that money either by giving me as a gift, borrowing me, or there's something we call equity, or you use it to buy a share in my company, meaning that if my total business worth is 1 million naira and you give me extra 1,000 or 100,000, I can tell you that okay, that 100,000, you can sign a document that says that 100,000 is you are without this, you are buying a share of 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever we agree on, of my business, which simply means that at the end of the year, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the day, when we share profit, you are going to have that percentage of profit. So if we agree that the money you invested in my business is 5%, you have bought 5% of my company, it means that when we share profit, you also get 5% of the profit. That's what it means. So look at that on a bigger scale. Look at that now. And that's how we got to what stock investing is. You bought a share of Coca-Cola, you bought a share of Nigerite, you bought a share of which other one? Tesla, and then all of those things. But then we are saying that okay, not all organizations get to pay dividends like that. Some, the benefit of buying their stock is capital appreciation. What do I mean by that? So if you give me 100,000 naira, you give me 100,000 naira when I was opening another branch of my business, which means that probably at the very bottom of the new branch now, and then we have grown bigger and bigger. Now, the 5% I sold for you for 100,000 naira, if I decide to sell 5% to somebody else, I might probably be selling it at 5 million, or at 10 million, at 1 million. And then this same 5%, when we have now become bigger, you can decide to sell it to somebody else at a bigger price. So you bought it at 100,000 naira, you are selling it at 500,000 naira, capital appreciation of 400,000 naira. Let me stick to my slide tonight, and so that we can have a faster and a more concise one. So now, what is capital gain? So there are two basic things you can derive from investing in stock. The first one is capital gain, and that's what I've just that is what I just explained. You bought this share when Tesla share was selling for, let's say, $20 per share, and then after a few months or few years, you started selling for $100 per share. That means your capital has grown from $20, to what, $80. So that's capital gain. The next thing here is dividends. So what are dividends? Now, some companies, outside the fact that they are growing, they also tend to say that, thank you for being part of our company. Thank you for believing in our dream. Thank you for investing in us when you did. Now, this is your share of our profit. So they do profit sharing for stakeholders, shareholders. Some do monthly, some do quarterly, some do yearly. Now, most do quarterly and few do yearly, but extremely few do monthly. Most of the ones that probably do public sharing monthly, are the real estate investment trusts, and few other ones, and few ETFs like that. So like JEPY also do profit sharing monthly. Don't mind all those things, you are going to understand them. What I plan tonight is going to be more of us having this background discussion, and then by tomorrow we are going to demonstrate the action. So tonight I'm going to give you one assignment at the end of this, so you want to stick around to the end, because I'm going to give that assignment, and I'm going to make sure that, and I'm going to follow up on it to make sure that you get it done. So now that I'm done with talking about dividends, now that you understand what dividend is, let's move forward. The next thing here is what are the type of stocks you can see in the stock market? We have the growth stocks, we have the dividend stock. So what are growth stocks? Growth stocks are the ones that don't pay dividends. Now, why are they not paying dividends? Now, for young organization, mostly tech organization, they still have room to grow. They are young, they are developing. So the money that they make in terms of profit, they would rather have it reinvested in the business than share it with their shareholders and stockholders and investors. So what you gain from them is their capital growth, because those kind of organizations tend to grow faster than the ones that are the ones that are paying dividends. Most companies that are paying dividends today are already over 20, 30, 40 years. We have organizations up to 100 years that are paying, and those ones are what we call the dividend aristocrats. Now, they've been paying dividends consistently for 50 years, paying dividends consistently for 30 years, for 50 years, and it's something that you can depend on. So you either go for growth stock or you go for dividend stock. But then there are some companies also that seems to intersect, that play in both growth and dividends, meaning that they grow fast enough, they also pay dividends. So a good number of them, you can put Microsoft, and I think you can put Apple also in this bucket of organizations that are growth companies and also pay dividends. But organizations like Tesla don't pay dividends. They are still growing. They have a lot of things to do. They cannot pay dividends, at least not yet. And then if you look at their plan, they don't even have plan for dividends in the next 15, 20 years. So let's talk about dividend aristocrats. Now, what are dividend aristocrats? Now, companies that have increased their dividends for at least 25 years consecutively. So year in, year out, this organization, this company continue to do what? Continue to increase their dividends year in, year out. They continue to increase their dividends payout year in, year out. So it is important that we understand. So if you are going to go for um, dividends, dividend paying organization, it is important that you don't get deceived or get tempted by the percentage the organization they are paying, but understand that a good number of the dividends portfolio should do what? Should carry dividend aristocrats, that is dependable organization that has been increasing their dividend consecutively for at least 25 years. Now, what are the steps you need to take forward? You need to determine how much your living expenses is, because the goal here is to invest in the stock market with a mindset of freedom. What do I mean by freedom? I define freedom at the very opening of this session. I mean, when the convocation class we had, I took a slide and I explained what the goal exactly is to get us to a point where we can be financially free. And the tools that can help us get there are the things we've been discussing in the last few weeks. So tonight we are saying that for you to put pen on paper and be say you are ready, and actually say you are ready, you need to know what your living expenses are, how much is okay for you to survive even in this economy today. Is it 500,000 per month? Is it 100,000 per month? Just be realistic. So the next thing is to outrightly save money monthly from whatever you are making today. Save consistently. Find a broker that allow you to invest in global stock, ETF, and in Nigeria. So I've done the search for you, and I'm going to be recommending a broker for you. I'm going to drop the link on the WhatsApp chat on the WhatsApp group after this session, so that you can go ahead, download the app, sign up, and be ready for class tomorrow. So find the right dividend stock ETF for you, and then build your portfolio. That is the step to take. But let's move forward. So the few things you need to check when you are considering the dividends to check, or if a company is viable for you to check, to invest in. These are the things you need to check. Now you need to look at the dividend yield. So what is dividend yield? Dividend yield is stock price. Let's say the company is currently selling their stock at let's say $83 per share. Now divided by the dividends, how much are they paying? So let's say they are paying $5 per share, per share. So that's how you get the dividend yield. It's that simple. Just use that formula. Dividend yield equals stock price divided by the dividends that is being paid. So the next thing is to look at the payout ratio. Now, out of the 100%, out of the 100 naira or 100,000 naira or $100 that a business is making in profit, how many of it are they reinvesting back into the business, and how many of it are they paying their investors as dividends? You don't want to invest in a company that is paying all their money, all their profit out as dividends. They will soon be out of cash, and they won't be able to grow and meet their basic needs going forward. So for example, like you can see on my screen, we have a business that is earning 100%, and then 70% returns back into the business, and they pay 30%, as dividends. So 70% of their earnings go to investment in the business, 30% go to, that is a viable one. You know that they have 70% to build the business. But then if you have a system where 20% goes into the business, 80% go into earnings, it might not be totally bad, but you should be skeptical of this organization, because you are looking for an organization that's strong enough, that is strong enough for you for long term, because what we are talking about is long term. So the next thing you need to look at is the dividend yield. So how do you see all of this information? Just type the name of the organization. For example, let's say you want to do Microsoft. So just type Microsoft dividend history, Microtrend. Just type it on Google. That's all. And you're going to find a page like this. So what you want to be sure of is you want to be sure that this particular stock is consistently increasing or paying dividends. What you can see on my screen is the chart of McDonald's, and they've consistently grown their dividends, except for 2008, the crash of 2008, and all of that. So you need to be sure that this organization you are investing in consistently, they consistently do what? They consistently increase and grow their dividends year in, year out. That is the only sign. It's a sign of growth. Please, if you are still here and following, please drop a message for me in the chat box, Let me be sure that we are still together tonight. Let me be sure that you are still following me tonight. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is business model. Now, the kind of business you want to invest in, the kind of stock you want to invest in, you want to be sure that they have competitive advantage. You want to be sure that they have that they command the respect in their industry. You want to be sure that they own a larger part, or they have the tendency to take over the market. For example, when it comes to luxury brand, when it comes to technology, I'm sure the first name you want to mention is Apple. Now, it's Apple and others, because when it comes to luxury in terms of gadgets, Apple sits alone in that cadre. They almost do not have, they almost do not have a competition with that, with in that industry. They've been able to craft out a market segment for themselves, and they are constantly dominating it. And that's why you see that people even pre-order, pay their money down for a product that has not been produced by Apple, because people have come to trust and believe in this business so much that if they say iPhone 24 is coming out tomorrow, people do not even wait to test the phone, to see the phone before investing, before paying, before saying they want to own it. Same with Coca-Cola. At least they said, at least currently in the world today, at least 1 billion people are addicted to Coca-Cola, meaning that if they don't take Coca-Cola in a day, they cannot function well. The way people are addicted to drug, at least 1 billion people in the world must take Coke a day, except for some of us that are now occasional Coca-Cola drinker, that we only drink Coca-Cola when we have, when it is, when the temperature is very hot and we need something to cool down our temperature, or when we go for events and they serve us some of those things. I'm talking about people that must drink at least one Coca-Cola daily. That kind of company, you cannot go wrong with them. Why? And that same reason, Warren Buffett invested so much in this kind of business, because you cannot be wrong with them. So is their competitor as well, Pepsi. The next one I want to talk about here is Tesla. Tesla is dominating the energy market, dominating the electric vehicle market, the solar market, and all of those things, dominating that market. It's not the biggest in the market, but it's the most recognized brand in the market. When you talk about electric vehicle, the next person you want to talk about in the US is Tesla. So even in China, which is another big market, you either go for NIO or you go for Tesla. Those are the two big brands in China when it comes to electric vehicle. But in the US is what? Tesla. And it comes with some level of ego and pride and brand, and I'm looking for the right word. It comes with a lot of class as well, not just being an electric vehicle, but also come with a lot of class. So almost all vehicle producing company today produce electric vehicle. I'm sure you must have seen some hybrid vehicle now. So the hybrid vehicle is the bridge between gasoline and electric. So meaning that this one, if the gasoline vehicle of Corolla, so to say, for example, is going to consume 20 liters of fuel, an hybrid will consume 10 liters of fuel, and an electric one will consume nothing, because it doesn't even work with fuel at all. So Ford is doing electric vehicle. All of those guys in the US are doing electric vehicle, even Volkswagen. But then, if you are thinking of buying an electric vehicle in the US, Tesla is what you are looking at. Let's continue. So you want to invest in a business that have that kind of class and status, that addiction, that customer loyalty kind of business model. So the next thing is top line. So what do I mean by top line? Now, for you to know what the top line is, just go to name the company. Let's say, for example, McDonald's revenue microtrend. type it on Google, you will see all you need to know about their top line. So what is happening to their revenue? You need to check their revenue growth. Are they growing? Are they expanding? Are they generating more money? Or are they having issues like Alibaba had at some point? So you need to understand all of these things before you just put your money in any organization. So you need to also look at the bottom line, that is earnings per share. So just type earning per share and then put the name of the stock, McDonald's Microtrend. So the reason I kept saying Microtrend is because I've come to believe the consistency of the data we get from Microtrend as a platform. So that you don't just keep checking different platforms, different pages. That's why I said you should just put Microtrend so that you can just get the information just the same way I'm giving you tonight. So you need to understand, are they, because revenue, and earnings per share is not the same thing. So what is the profit margin? They can be having revenue and the profit is not high. You understand that the cost might be eating up their revenue. So you don't just mistaken, or you don't just mix up revenue for profit. No, you want to be sure that these people has a good and consistently growing earnings per share. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the management. Who is managing these guys? If you have a company and you have to employ someone to manage it, I'm sure you will not employ just any other person. You want managers with integrity and talent. You want people you can depend on. One of the reasons a lot of us bought into Tesla is because we believe in Elon Musk. We believe in his dream. We believe in all he's doing. And then more reason, some of us will buy Twitter today, if it's a public company, is because of the same reason, because we believe in Elon Musk. And we believe, even if we don't know the head of this, head of that, departmental head, we believe in the top leader, and we know that he will do the right thing by appointing the right persons at the other spaces that we need action being done. So you need to also check the team behind the company and be sure that there are people without scandal, there are people with track record, there are people that you can literally hand over your money to. So the next thing is, I know this is already becoming so big and technical to you. So I have a softer way for you to understand these things. They said that if you don't have the technicality, or you don't understand the technicality of an industry, there's a simple way, and the simple way is to find the expert in the industry and mirror what they are doing. And that's why I call it the mirror tactics. If you don't understand, what and how to check for the best dividends, the best stock, the best this and that, why don't you check what the experts in the industry are doing? For example, if you want to know what Warren Buffett is currently buying, or what stock Warren Buffett is buying in 2023, just Google search it. You will see enough articles to help you, to guide you, to tell you what is buying and why it is buying what it's buying. Same thing with PPC and same thing with Dividend Sensei. Just check these guys out. They have proven track record. I love ARK Invest, a lady and one of the most prominent lady in the industry. I love what Cathie Wood is doing with ARK Invest. They are currently down in terms of their revenue, and their ETFs are down shortly because of the economy. But then I believe that what they are doing has a huge future. The company has constantly beat S&P 500. And what is S&P 500? S&P 500 is the index that track, the 500 the 500 biggest company in the world. So imagine with your 10,000 naira, you have shares of all 500, the biggest 500 company in the world. That's what it means. So now I'm going to be talking about ETF, mutual fund, index fund, and all of that. So instead of buying individual stocks, you can also buy what we call the ETF. ETFs are exchange traded funds. So what does that mean? It's a bucket, you know. For people that have gone for introduction, we always carry a basket of fruit. But imagine what you have in the basket is just oranges, just oranges. They probably throw some of us out like, you people are not ready to marry our daughter. It has to be, a basket of fruit. For it to be a basket of fruit, that's to contain different fruit. So think of ETF like that. ETF is what, exchange traded fund. So depending on what that exchange traded fund is now tracking, so S&P 500 is an ETF. We have several ETF. Even the JEPY I mentioned is an ETF. We have several of them. We have the VOO, that is the Vanguard one. We have the VGT. We have the all sort of ones. So this tonight is just an eye opening so that you can do more research. But then, as a beginner, how do you start? Mirror what these guys are doing. Mirror what the experts are doing. But you need to start by doing what. In fact, in the platform I'm going to share with you, you can also see what Nigerian celebrities are investing into. If you click on a particular stock on that platform, it will tell you Bas, the bad guy, has this in his portfolio. Simi has this in his portfolio. Dibanj has this in his portfolio. So that you can be sure that, of course, that is not financial advice. It doesn't mean that those guys know what they are doing, but they have enough money to get the best advice. That's why we can assume they know what they are doing. So you have to put all of this information together, local and international information together, and then you have assets to guide you along the way. If you have been following our social media handles, you know that there's been a lot of tips we've been sharing. So for some we are on day 11, for some we are on day 3, day 4, day 5, depending on when that one started. But then we have stock investing tips that you can benefit from. We are going to 100 days. So if you follow closely, in the next 90 something days, you will have become a guru in investing in stock. Crypto investment tips is also going. I advise that you follow it on our social media handle: TikTok, Facebook page, Telegram, and YouTube. So whichever one is closer to you, just follow closely. So let me quickly do a recap of what I've done tonight. So some pillars of dividend investing, or investing in general. The first one is to check the dividend yield, check the payout ratio, check the stock dividend history, check the business model, check the bottom line, check the top line, and check the management. If you are able to check these 7 well, you are not likely to invest in the wrong organization, or the wrong company, or the wrong ETF. So what is the action plan you need to do now? You need to click on the link I'm going to provide after this class in the WhatsApp group. You need to download the app, and then you need to set up your account. And then tomorrow you can now practically do what? Check the market. So thank you so much for listening to the conversation tonight. Like I said, this is just a teaser. Let's keep the conversation going. So at this point, I would like to take your questions, your reactions, and then so that I can be sure that you understand what I've said so far. So if you have any question, please drop it in the comment um, box, or you drop it on the WhatsApp group. So I'll be waiting for your questions. I'll be waiting. Also, while I'm waiting for questions, please, when I drop the instruction on the group, please make sure you get it done. Make sure you get it done. If you don't have up to 10 people engage that information, I might not go ahead with it. So please pay attention to it. Pay attention to whatever I drop next in the group. So I'm waiting for your question. So are we saying there's no question? Okay, Nigerian market. Somebody wants to take me to the Nigerian market. Honestly speaking, I don't have enough. I don't have big money yet to think of risking my money in the Nigerian market. So, just on a personal note, I don't invest in the Nigerian market, in the Nigerian stock market. But that does not mean that there are not valuable organizations in the Nigerian market. But my own mentality, my own thinking, my own psychology of not investing in the Nigerian market is this. If you can hear me clearly, please let me know. My own psychology of not investing in the Nigerian market is this. The whole Nigerian market, the whole Nigerian stock exchange um, capitalization is less than just one of the companies in the US. Now, just you can prove me wrong by doing a little research. Go and Google what is the capitalization of the Nigerian market, and then go and look at the capitalization of companies like Microsoft, Apple, and Alphabet, those ones that are topping the US market. You can see that one or two of them will swallow the Nigerian market. So why play in a pond when I can play in the deep sea? It's just your choice. That's my thinking. Why play in the pond when I can play what in the deep sea? And then let me also say this: it's far easier to buy my stock, my US stock, and get my dividends US stock than even Nigeria. If not for some of these apps today, for some of the other folks here, you know the stress that you go through to secure the stocks that you bought in the past. But of course, technology have changed everything now. But if you want me to answer your question by naming organization, Dangote is number one for me any day, anytime. Dangote is number one for me. Look at what you just did with the refinery. I mean, it's gonna blow up very soon. So Dangote is number one for me any day, anyhow. And then I will also say that invest in companies that deal with commodities, that deal with daily needs. So we are looking at there's a particular company I was following for some time. There are two companies or three that that they sell palm oil. They are into palm oil business. I love them. Then there's this other company that is into food production. I love them because they cannot run out of money. Nigerians always need those things. They cannot run out of money. So thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. The minimum, you will be shocked that you can start with 5,000 naira. That's it, and that's what I want us to. I want to show you tomorrow. I wish we were doing this on a weekday. I've said fund your account before tomorrow morning, but you won't be able to do that. Or even if you do that, you won't be able to initiate any of such thing. But I'm sure just prepare yourself and prepare your mind, that you want to take action tomorrow. I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to show you one of my accounts and show you, what. Yes, bamboo is what I use. Of course, I've used rice. I've used bamboo. I've used trove. I've used Passfolio. Passfolio used to be my best because there's no charges in all of everything that they do. But then Passfolio had to leave Nigeria, so they took all their customer and they gave it to another organization. And let me also clarify this: either it is bamboo or it is trove or it is chaka or it is Passfolio or it is anybody. Let me let you know that they all use the same broker in the US. So it's just like we all bought the same shoe, but it came in the same in different color of package. That's why it works. So they all work with I've forgotten the name of this broker. Drive Wealth, yes. They all work with Drive Wealth in the US. So even if, God forbid, bamboo, throw any one of them crash today, your money is still safe with Drive Wealth. You just need to move your money into another organization representing Drive Wealth in Nigeria. That was what happened to Passfolio. Passfolio left Nigeria, ended business, and moved their customer to another company. So, what are the measures in place for next of kin in the US market in case the unexpected happen? I love that question. Now, now, your account, it is at the point of you registering your account with Bamboo or Trove that you set all of those out. And then also note that the app you are working with does not know that you are the one working with it. So the same way you would want your confidant, either your wife or your son, oldest son or daughter, to have your ATM pin. I remember one day my dad was very sick, and then he started saying that this is the pin to my ATM. I was like, Papa, you know they go anywhere. No, they give me that talk. At least I've seen that talk on movies long enough to know what it means when a old person, and he's not even old, when the man start telling his children or his child, this is what I have, this is what I don't have, this and that. I said, you're not going anywhere. But then it's just what we do, because you don't want your asset to be confiscated. You don't want it giving your people troubles. So so as much as you want to let one of your people have access to your, maybe your bank account, and all of that, same way you should let them have access to your investment app pin or something, so that if whatever happen, they can always transfer the fund, they can always withdraw the fund, sell the shares and all of that. So the next of kin or anything does not even happen to, it's not even a complicated matter with these guys. And then let's even say you're a very very secretive person, nobody knew, you didn't allow your wife to know, you didn't, no problem. Once they know, they just have to claim that they are associated with you, and the certificate of death for the person, and they will claim whatever their person or their their father or their mother or whoever it is has in the market. Either you want to keep that stock on growing or whatever, or you want to sell it and cash out. You know, it's that simple anyway. It's that simple. Any other question tonight before we call it today? Any other question tonight? Have I been able to answer your question, please? Please, have I been able to answer all your question? The idea is to have enough dividends generating dividend ETFs and stock, such that the dividends is enough to take care of your family or your daily or your living expenses as a family man, as a chief in your town, as a whatever who you are. The idea is to have enough dividends or enough passive income, because it's not only restricted to dividends. If you invested in real estate market, you will earn rent. The idea is to put all of them together, and so that they are able to do what, you know take care of their living expense. The idea of playing in the crypto market, forex market, is high yield, skills. They are high yielding markets, but also have a lot of risk. But then the idea is for you to master it, generate income there, take the income from the very risky market, bring it to a less risky market like stock market, real estate, you know, and then let it continue to give you passive income while your money is still, safe. Your capital is safe. Isn't that a simple plan to use and build wealth from? So please confirm I've answered all your question, and I can call it a day tonight. It's 9 o'clock already, and I believe you've learned something today again. So we're going to see you tomorrow for our final session on School of Assets Management. So please confirm we are all on the same page, and I can end the class tonight. If there's any other question, I will take them on the WhatsApp group. Okay, good night, everyone, and have a restful night. See you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Good night.